to Garden Talk with Jason and Don. Tonight, a harrowing adventure, part 1. Viewer discretion is advised.
Star.
Garden Talk with Jason and Don at the desk. We were talking about
Your experience
going through the list of personal assistants that the agency's given me to hire. And I really put this off for a while. I know what it's going to be like every fucking time I call these people. You're going to call 20 of them and make it one that comes over and interviews. She works for 2 days and then her daughter's vagina explodes and she's going to go to Florida. Yeah, that's what happened the last time. Well, that's not true. And I said this on New Year's. Oh, good, I'm on a roll. I'm funny. As I said on New Year's, her name would be known as Mary, the one that almost killed me 6 times on the way to Spartan Final and 13 times on the way back. And she was from the agency too. As she's smoking pot and driving, I'm like, oh shit. And I'm like, oh, do you vape? And she's like, no, we never got into this. We never did this. Because we talked about Juanita.
Yeah.
But we didn't talk about what actually happened.
That's true. We attempted it several times, never got there.
We never got there. So this can tie into that. We never got there to tell this story. This is part 2 of New Year's, my near-death experience on New Year's Eve.
Right.
And then I came over the night and we did the blind Chinese lady. I was really gonna roll that, the blind Chinese lady and all that shit. But that was New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve. We were up till 3. We recorded until 3 in the morning.
Yeah, we did.
Off and on, just all kind. There's so much, and I've only watched like a couple pieces here and there. Well, we watched the blind Chinese lady and Juanita. We watched that one. Anyways, my near-death experience after dying 2, maybe 3 times just a week earlier. And I'm discharged from Glendale Memorial Hospital with very strict instructions. Hello! Very strict instructions. Do not hit your head. Protect your head at all costs. And I knew this. And I was hearing this from my mom and my dad and the doctors. And I'm still coming down with the fucking morphine. And Mary just who flaked on me 6 times earlier and never bothered to even call and check on me while I was in the hospital. I mean, I'm hiring this woman, and she's going to be my employer. I mean, I'm going to be her employee. And Mary just thinks it's just not her. And I said, you're hired. I'm in the hospital. You can at least see if I needed anything, to get some hours. I would say, yeah, give me this and that. Just give me, I didn't want her in my apartment because I hadn't met her yet. But if she would, it would have been nice to hear from her. From her. Anyways. After I got out of the hospital, the Friday before Christmas, all through Christmas, all that weekend up until New Year's, Mary flaked on me. But she showed up New Year's Eve.
Yes.
And we went to Smart & Final. Now, mind you, I'm still coming down off the fucking morphine. I'm still adjusting to all new medications, psych meds, and everything. And everything for the next few weeks is just like I'm in a fucking dream. And all I want to do is go to Smart & Final and buy a shitload of food because I had too much money in my bank account anyway. And I just wanted to buy everything for the month that I could. And I just wanted to get there and get back. And I already had a feeling before we got in the car that it just wasn't going to work. But I wanted to go to Smart & Final, and I figure she'll get a couple hours work out of me.
Yeah. You do your
and maybe it won't be that. Maybe it won't be that bad. But then we got in the car.
Well, you do your best stuff when you're high on something or coming down off of something.
When I'm high on something or
experience these
coming
things.
down off something.
Maybe it's what makes you survive these events.
Well, it's what connects me to the story, and I'm able to run it through the comic filter and the in the narrative, and then we can laugh about it. Because it's the laughing too. This is a pain in the ass. There we go. That's better. So we go down and we get in the car. I didn't tell you about. We didn't record about the baby seat.
No.
Oh.
Nothing about that. Remember, we never did.
We never got there because we avoided that.
We never told the story.
We haven't even
first.
told the story. Yes, this is from New Year's, but this is 3 months later. 2 months.
Even I don't even know this story.
You don't even know the story.
Yeah.
You don't even know
So it's all
the
new to
fucking
me.
story. And this started off with Hathor, Compton, and L.A. But we're going back to Mary. So she's a little off when she shows up. And she sure didn't show up like she was going to be cleaning. She was dressed like she was the day she came in interviewed. And I said, well, you don't have to dress this way when you come to work. And she said, well, I just want to dress this way to impress you for coming in. I'm like, okay, well, thank you very much. The woman that came and showed up at my door was not the same. I mean, physically it was the same woman, but mentally it was not the same woman. But God damn it, I want to go to Smart and Final.
That one was Crazy Mary, the one that showed up. The one that showed up was Crazy Mary.
It was Crazy Mary. Yeah. Normal Mary, quite contrary, is who came and interviewed with her.
Virgin Mary showed up. Virgin Mary came for the interview.
Virgin Mary showed up for the interview, and
Crazy
and Crazy Bitch Mary showed up to work. And I should have. There's more to the story than just the trip. I should have known that when I went into the bathroom and I brushed my teeth and scrubbed my tongue and did mouthwash and whatever and blah 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 and did my hair, and she's out there in the living room and she said I just thought, okay, well, it's legal, because she says, you know, I smoke pot, and I was like, okay, I do too. She better not be lighting one up when I come out there, is what I thought.
And
it's like,
not be yours.
And I walk out the bathroom door. I'm like, okay, she's not smoking pot. Good. It's just, she was just letting me know for some reason, and I'm thinking, she's high, but is she sober enough to give me the Smart and Final one back? Is what I thought. And I thought, okay, let's go down to her car and let me see how she walks. You know, if she stumbles, then I'm just going to say, I'm sorry, this is going to work, and I'm going to go upstairs and I'll call a fucking Uber and pay $15 on New Year's Eve to get Smart and Final and $15 back just so I've got food for the month. But she walked fine. She was just she when she was walking, she was doing this thing like this, and when she walked before, she was very composed, but she was doing this, and I thought maybe she had a dildo in her ass. I was like, what is going on? And we get down to the car, and she goes to open up the door, and I can't unlock it from your side. I was like, okay, so she goes in and she unlocks it, and she unlocks the door. She unlocks the door. She reaches in over and unlocks the door. I'm like, okay, you know, I understand. I hope it's a car. And I get in, and it's just garbage everywhere. And not like, just stuff.
Yeah.
Just stuff.
Like she lives out of the thing or something.
Yeah, almost like there are multiple people living out of it, and right now they're hanging out under an underpass. No, it's not that bad, but it was like, you know, there's like ketchup foil things that are open, and there's ketchup on the floor, and there's open salt packets, and like children's toys, and receipts. Not a lot, but there were some receipts, but they were all torn up. And I looked down at the seat, and there's shit in the seat, and I gotta get rid of that. And she just picks it up, tosses it in the back seat, and I happen to turn around and look in the back seat. And there was this baby seat sitting back there. And I thought, okay, she's a grandma. It's for her grandkids. It's for her grandkids.
Is the kid back there too somewhere? Is the kid back there under all that mess too?
No, it wasn't piled up. It was just like if you just threw some, you just hadn't cleaned your car in a while. No, it wasn't. And I look, and there was a McDonald's bag back there. I'm like, okay. And I look over at the baby seat that I thought was black, and I realized it really wasn't black. It was blue, and it was filthy. The baby seat plays a very important part in this story. It really does coming up later on. It's very important to understand. And I look, and it just looked like something she dug out of a fucking dumpster somewhere. Not even out of the dumpster, out of the garbage dump. I mean, it was that filthy, and I'm thinking,
You put a baby in
baby in there? Babies in that thing? It's not even attached. That's very important. That is very important right there. But I'm thinking, how badly do you need to go to Smart and Final? You can get to Smart and Final and back. It's okay. It's okay. If it gets really bad, you've got your phone, and you can call Uber. And okay.
And what about where you're going to put your groceries? Is there space back there?
There's space. The seats are open. There's just like foil packets and empty French fry bags and stuff like just randomly scattered. You know, just randomly scattered. I mean, I've seen worse. I've seen much worse. And I thought, God, our kids are slobs. And I look and I get in the car, and there's just like, there's the ashtray. It's just full of ash. Just full of ash like it is never, ever, ever. And I'm like, God. And I thought to myself, how fucked up are you right now that you're going to go to Smart and Final with this woman who might, the car might break down is what I thought the worst was going to happen. I thought the car might break down. But, how do I get there? And that's how she gets in, throws herself down in the car, and kind of like Miss Thing here, just goes with her hair, and her hair kind of flies back. And I thought the hair was up in a bun, but I guess she took it out of the bun, and it just went, yeah, because it was when she came up, it was all tied up and nice. And I guess before she got in the car, she took the pin out, and I just. Could you see that?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I'm thinking, what would your mom's advice be? Okay, remember, you should have asked your mother. This is another.
Yeah.
But if I called my mom right now and told her what I was witnessing, what would she say? She would say, "Don't get in the car," and I'm like, "Yeah, but that's going to cost me like $25 to get Smart and Final and back," and because I would get I would get one by myself. That way I can fill it up because it was going to be full of groceries. And I was going to fucking buy. I bought a shit of stuff at Smart. Once I came over with the shrimp and the nice cheeses and all that. Yeah, because I knew you were home. I was hoping you were home. And I wanted to bring over a spread of shit. Plus, I wanted crap. I bought the prime rib hamburgers, which I'm still eating. Those are so good. Oh, not an ounce of fat on. I'm just so good. What I do is. I saute all my vegetables up, and I've got the hamburger seasoned with salt and pepper, and I just kind of tear it up and throw it in there, and I saute it until it's just about done, and then it's in the vegetables, and I throw the vegetables all in a pot, and I cover it up, and then I put the bread in there, and I saute the bread. But while it's in there, it was medium rare when I put it in there, or medium, and it becomes it cooks while it's in there in the heat. Anyway. That's what I got in Smart and Final, and I knew that they had that on sale, and I wanted to get because I had a flyer, and I said I want to get that prime rib hamburger. So we head to Smart and Final. And as we're going down Riverside down here, I keep telling her, I'm trying to take her the back way because I thought it'd be faster.
Yeah.
I guess it would be better if we just go up to Sunset and take it to Santa Monica. But I took her the back way because I knew it'd be faster. It was Christmas, it was New Year's Eve. It could be crazy traffic.
Right.
So I guess it probably wouldn't have mattered if we were on Sunset in Santa Monica or not. Now come to think of it, because we're down here at Fletcher is what we call it. Fletcher. And as we're coming up, and I said, you need to make a left on Fletcher. And she drives past where the line of like 4 cars, and she pulls up next to the car, and I said, I guess you could go down and go around and come back around. You know, we go that way. She said, no, I got it. And the light turned red, and this car went, and she floored it. And I grabbed the fucking seatbelt for my life, and thinking, oh my God, you're gonna die. And she fucking, as that car's turning, she's honking her horn and rolls down her window, and fucker, get out of the way! And she, and I'm like, oh my God. Get out of the car and walk home.
Where's a policeman when you want one?
That's how it started. That's how the fucking trip started.
You're not even out of the gate yet.
We're not even a mile from my house. We're not even. I can still see my fucking apartment building from the bottom of Glendale Boulevard. If we looked up and there weren't trees, I can still see it because we're down there in Glendale and Rowena. I said, please make a right on Rowena. Fucking car goes around the corner, and I hold my head like this because I'm scared that do not hit your head. My brain was still bleeding. We're recording, aren't we? Okay, good. I just want to make sure. My brain was still bleeding, and it would be for weeks after. And one hit to the head could turn me into a fucking vegetable. And I really can't. No, I knew this. It could get how bad it could get. And I really came to the realization in the hospital, begging God for my life. I do not want to die. Please.
I'm with this crazy woman anyway.
Just get me a Spartan Final so I get that primary hamburger and I can get everything I need and I'm gonna fire you, and if I don't have to hire someone for another month to get me with my shit, I'm just gonna buy absolutely everything that I can right now and just fill the shopping cart because I have the money to do it. So I hadn't gone shopping because I've been in the hospital dying, so I hadn't spent any money that month.
Well, it's a good thing you didn't spend it.
Well, yeah, come right before Christmas. I got all that really nice food for January. I got really top-notch shit. You know, I mean, really. I got the name brands of everything, and Dijon mustard instead of the Spartan Final mustard, and I got actual Heinz or Hunt's ketchup, whichever one it was, rather than the Spartan Final brand of ketchup. And then I put it back because the Spartan Final brand is just as good. It's cheaper, and I put the Dijon back, and I got the cheap Dijon, and then I realized I don't like Dijon, so I got just the. I didn't need Dijon. I just thought it was funny because I could buy it, and it had white wine in it anyways. If I do that, it has white wine in it.
Yeah.
And you cannot be sober and drink white wine. It doesn't matter how minuscule amount. Because some people make the excuse, well, there's just a little bit in there, and I said, well, how much? Okay, by that standard, how much crystal meth is it okay for me to smoke, and still consider it not a relapse? If you're drinking white wine, I need just a little bit of crystal meth, like Kelly Reaper's a little bit of crack cocaine. So, Mary, barreling down the fucking road, we come up to. That's Hyperion, right?
Right.
We come up to Hyperion, and we're way before Hyperion. And I said, up here at the light, you need to make a left. Okay. And she bypasses all the traffic. And I told her, I said, okay, we can go straight. And at the next block, we can make a left, because that's where we're going to go that way anyways. We're going the back way. I'm going the back way down. And I'm thinking, okay, we don't, because I was going to just take her to Fountain.
Yeah.
Hyperion turns into Fountain, and that's where I was going to go. And she pulls up things, and I thought, what's that noise? There's... She had her foot on the brake, and she was gassing the car, and her hair is just all over the place, and she looks at me, and she's like, what? And it wasn't like that. She's like, she's at the car, and the thing is, there's something strange. I noticed how she's sitting. The seat is all the way back. And she's like this, because I hadn't really been watching that. I've been over here just fucking clutching the seatbelt, and I'm stopping my head from taking out the glass. And I said, please don't make a left-hand turn right now. And she was just not listening. She was talking, and all of a sudden said, oh no, that's when she started telling me that every male member of her family is transgender. Oh, I didn't tell you this. Oh, it gets great. And I'm like, oh God, no, please. And I said, you know I'm hearing impaired. That's okay, I'll talk really loud. And he's like, oh my God. So what I did was, there was an old napkin down there, or something, like it could have been some kind of paper product. And I tore a piece of it off, and I crumpled it up, and I stuffed it in my ear so I didn't have to hear about it. And she said, can you hear me? And I said, no, I'm deaf. I said, sometimes my hearing really goes. Oh. I said, could you turn left up here? And she says, where? I said, up here. She said, I thought you couldn't hear me. I said, I can read your lips. I said, but please don't look at me while you drive. Because I was afraid she was going to be talking to me like this. I was like, Jacon, just, what the fuck are you doing? You would not normally, I mean, brain bleeding, coming off morphine, dying twice in the hospital, once on we'll call him Tan. Once on Tan's driveway, and kind of a seizure at any minute and die because I'm at high risk for. Oh, if I hit my head, I would have I would have a seizure right then and die. Even I was new on the meds, and I was just like, oh my God. So. As we're pulling up to where Hyperion turns back into Fountain, she had told me before that she had 16 years of sobriety, or 18 years of sobriety, something like that, when I interviewed her. Because I told her, no drugs, absolutely no drugs. And she's, oh, I'm 18 months, or 18 years sober, and it was 18 days, and she got that right. She just forgot that it was days, is what I think it was. Because, come to find out later, she'd smoked crack, or meth, or bath salts in her car. I found out from my name, but from a buddy of mine who lives around the corner, because he saw me, well, this is important, he saw me get into that car as he was walking his dog back, and he saw her standing at the in front of her car, doing this with a glass pipe and exhaling. Later, he told me that a week later because he was worried that I went off and smoked crack with her because he knew I was sober. And I said, no.
Dad, you barely made it out of that car alive.
That's before she even came up to my apartment.
Well,
so
she was.
I told you there was something off, but I didn't know about this. I didn't know the extent of it until the way home. And we're not even smart and fun. I was fucking baby seat. She flies around the corner on the Hyperion in front of everybody. Luckily, she goes fast enough. Nobody tries to cut her off. And she is, the lights, down at Trader Joe's down there, it's turning yellow. And we're up here. And she just floors it. And I literally am just clutching for dear life the fucking seatbelt. And just in the back of, I was clutching the seatbelt with this hand, and this hand I was clutching the back. I had the head thing raised so I could grab a hold of the bar. I was so fucking scared. And at this point, when she flies around the corner, the baby seat goes, and it literally just went, and I said, the baby seat flew. Oh, it's okay, there's no baby in it. And it hits the window. And I look at the window, and okay, the window's okay. And she's flying down the street, and she's in the wrong. We're in the wrong lane of traffic all of a sudden. We're on the wrong side of Hyperion. And I said, Mary, we're driving down the wrong side of Hyperion. You need to get over to the left. And as she turns the wheel, we fly over to the left. The baby seat flies back over again and smashes the window, and this time cracks the fucking back window. And I said, the baby seat just cracked the back window. The baby seat just cracked the back window. And I don't think she understood me. She said, well, there's no baby in it. And I just thought, thank God. I mean, shit. And at this point, I'm like, Okay.
This is my experience with Chase driving. I go through the same thing.
I'm thinking to myself, okay, let's get up the phone and inconspicuously hit the Uber app, and because I'm gonna when we pull up at Sunset and Fountain, yeah, I'm gonna jump out of the car. I'm gonna jump out of the car because I'm close to the doctor's office and there's a hospital right there just in case. And I'm gonna call Uber. I'm gonna walk over to the doctor's office and call Uber, and have him pick me up at the doctor's office and take me to Smart and Final, and I'll Uber back. Well, our jerky ride went, and the phone went under the seat.
Oh, so much for well played.
And I said, "Oh, my phone went under the seat." "Oh, that's okay. You don't need it right now." She's driving, and all of a sudden she started jerking the head jerking around and shit. And I'm looking over, like, fuck, God. And I thought, even if you would have jumped out of the car, your bags are in the trunk. So, Jesus, you can't do this. Maybe if we get to Smart and Final, and I just bail on her.
Yeah.
I can call Uber from there. I'll call Uber from there.
If you survive.
Well, if we make it to Smart
Yeah.
Phone. If we make it to Smart Phone. So this jerky ride, and the baby seat's bouncing around, and there's garbage all of a sudden just bouncing around, and the back of the seat in the car falls forward, and the baby seat falls forward and hits the back of her seat, which is kind of like Chase and Christopher's car. It doesn't have a thing. That's why she was laying back, and the baby seat hits, and she flies forward like this. So we go into the other lane of traffic. And this is like in Normandy and Fountain, like where the Betty Davis always says, and I said here's the Betty Davis sign. Just call about the Johnny Carson said what's the best way for an actor to best advice you give an actor in Hollywood, and she always take Fountain. And she's like, "Oh, I never heard about that." And she turns her head as we're driving through the intersection through the red light and looks at it and stops and reads it. And I just pray, I am praying, I am saying every childhood prayer that I know to get me to Smart and Final. Okay, I said, I'd already begged God for a week not to kill me in the hospital. I would rather die in the hospital than die in her car. Yeah, I mean, Christ.
Liz, you probably think, why did I ever leave my house?
Why didn't I call my mother and see what she would say?
She would say,
that's
"Don't get in
part
that
two
car."
of like with Juanita. Yeah, why I should have called my mother, which is what I'm going to title that. This would be another one. Another reason why I should have called my mother. But eventually we make it to Santa Monica Boulevard because she wasn't paying attention. I was trying to take Fountain the whole way. She just went all the way to Santa Monica Boulevard. I said, okay, make a right. Just try to make a left. I said, no, make a right. We're going to West Hollywood. Oh! Did I tell you about my nephew? He's transgender. Because she'd stopped talking about that. And I'm like, no. I said, why don't you just pay attention to the traffic? And you can tell me about him when we get back to my place. Oh, okay. We get Smart and Final, and she said, well, I'm going to come in and go shopping too. And I said, knock yourself out. I'm going to be in here a while. Just take your time. And I said, oh, I will. Went down every aisle. I fucking filled that shopping cart with just the best and finest of everything that I could find. And like I said,
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.